Hey guys, this is Chase from thetechunion.com. Welcome to the second beginner tutorial in my Beginner Basics tutorial series. This one is going to be covering masking and animation. Now, masking is something that's very essential to After Effects. Yeah, it's a pretty easy concept to grasp, and it's something that you really need to know going into After Effects right away. So, coming along with masking, though, we're going to get into animation, which is going to be pretty cool. You can start doing some cool things with animation as well. Pretty simple concepts still today, but you can use them very effectively. So we're starting out with nothing. We're going to go ahead and drag our clips on in. Okay, I have these clips of they were taken a long time ago. They're of something on my desk, a tennis ball. So we're going to create a new composition. We're going to call this masking. Oops, I like to capitalize, and animation. Sorry about my noisy keyboard. It's very noisy. 1920 by 1080. Okay, this is all good. So we're going to select these and we're going to bring them into our timeline. Okay, so we basically have two different clips here. Now, if you haven't messed with the timeline much since the last video, I'm going to kind of go slow on some of this stuff just so you can understand it a little better. So if we go through, we see we have, I would call this a clean slate, because if you look at our other clip, I'm going to drag this above this one, so therefore you can see it. The layers that are below other layers are not going to be visible. If you wanted to make this layer visible, you'd have to turn this layer off by ticking this little eye off. So now this layer is invisible. You can see this layer. This layer on top has a tennis ball here. The layer on bottom does not have a tennis ball. So this one I would say is our clean plate, because it does not have the prop that we want to, let's say, take out. So let's see what we can do to maybe take out this tennis ball. So let's just say for some reason we have this tennis ball in our shot and we don't like it there. It's not really a tennis ball, it's like a keychain or something, but we want it out. What can we do to get this out of our shot? And we have a clean plate. Well, this is actually going to be pretty simple if we use masks. So we could always, of course, just turn this off and say, okay, there's no tennis ball now. However, that's not going to be an option for most shots, just because, let's say you want to keep something else in the background, you know. This one is, not that case though, because everything's the exact same besides that tennis ball. But still, I'm going to use this for demonstrational purposes. So let's go ahead and get rid of this tennis ball. So I'm going to make sure. Okay. So this is our masking tool. It's called the pen tool. The shortcut is G. And basically, what this does is we're kind of cutting a hole inside of this layer. So let's take this and make sure to get the shadow too, because we don't want the shadow just sitting there. And we're going to kind of cut this out. Boom. Okay, now the tennis ball is still there. That's because if we go down here to our layer, our mask is set on add. So basically anything inside of this mask is what this layer is going to be shown. Okay, now I know that's kind of hard to understand by the way I said it, but if you see this little hard edge here, that's because we turn this off and on. Only everything inside the mask is showing on this layer. Now if we invert that, boom, it's gone. But we have a problem. You can see we have a really harsh edge here, and that's just because of some miscoloring. So we can easily add an effect to this layer to get rid of that. We can do a few things. We can go ahead and feather this mask. Now feathering basically smoothens out the edge. I'm going to turn this off so I can see the edge, and we're just going to smooth that out. And you might be able to pass that as legit, but it still looks a little bit fake. So we're going to add a color correction. I like to use curves for stuff like this. So we're going to go ahead and apply this. Looks like we need to darken it a bit. So we're going to try to... Oh, wrong clip. Okay, we actually needed to lighten it because I was thinking we were going on the inside, but this is actually subtracted, so I wasn't thinking. But there we go. So now it's blended nicely, and it looks as if it's totally gone. Now we are presented with a problem though, because later in this clip I decide to run a little green stick through the shot. Where is it? Hang on, let me RAM preview this. By the way, this button right here, this plays your video back with audio. If you're wondering why you're trying to play clips back and they don't have audio, it's because you have not clicked the RAM preview button. So this is what you need to click. That was a big problem for me when I first started. It was very annoying. So let's see. Let's see where I did this at. Oh, I know why it's not working. Okay, sorry. My composition is too short, so we gotta go into our composition settings. Make this clip, let's say 20 seconds long. Okay, and by the way, this zooms in and out on your clip. So there it is. There's the rest of the clip. Let's go on. There it is. Okay, so I moved this little green stick in front of it. Now the problem is that when it gets over here, this layer, or actually this layer, because the green stick is passed through on this layer, so it's basically cut out when it gets there. So we need to apply an animation to fix this. So I'm going to start it off, and then I'm going to fast forward so you guys don't have to sit through me animating this. So we're going to do something. We're going to click on this stopwatch. Now what this basically does is it sets down a keyframe. So it's saying in this moment in time, this mask needs to be here. Okay, it needs to be right here. If I go forward, if I move it, you see it adds another keyframe. Oops, I'm gonna select my layer. If I move it, you see it's gonna add another keyframe. And it's saying, okay, in this moment in time, the mask needs to be there. Okay, and basically you just want to go through. Don't worry about it showing through there. You want to go through and you want to animate your mask all the way till it goes across the screen. Now I'm going to fast forward now because you get the basic concepts, but you can see down here, if we zoom in, it's adding keyframes. If we go back, you can see the mask is moving. So I'm going to fast forward and get this done. I will be right back. Okay guys, so now we're back. So basically what I've done is I've finished it off. You can see that here there's some lighting issues, so we're going to go back to this layer, our curves, and we're going to adjust this a little more just because it doesn't quite match. Not quite match it. That's better. Okay, so now if we play this back in real time, it looks as if we have an appearing keychain. Oh, by the way, if you don't want to play the whole clip back, drag this little thing and it'll only play back what's between here. So many things you're learning. So obviously it's not perfect because I spent like 30 seconds doing this, and you can see there's some issues in the color correction. You can see right here. That can be fixed with either a heavier feather on your mask or more color correction. But you wouldn't really notice it seeing it first time. Now, the reason this, of course it appears and it doesn't stay disappeared is because we haven't added another mask behind it. You can see that this mask is just thrown off to the side, so the tennis ball is revealed again, as well as this whole layer. So if you wanted to make it stay vanished, then you would obviously add another mask in behind it and animate that one this way. So that's basically all there is to masking and animation. Now, obviously, animation is carried much farther. So let's go ahead and delete this clip. I'm just using this as a really rough example. Animation is not only applied to masks. Animation can be applied to layers as well. So if we go down here to the transform and we take our position of this layer, we say here, move it on, and then right there. So now we just animated this whole layer. So animation can be applied to virtually anything. It's pretty cool. Well, obviously it's not great, but you get the basic idea. There's so many possibilities with animation. So that was basically all I wanted to teach you in this tutorial. Pretty lengthy, but it was still, I think it still had a lot of good content in it. So thanks for watching. Look forward to the next beginner tutorial. In fact, you can go watch that right now. It's about adjustment layers. So have fun with that, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.